everyone, Missy Harris here with Hubble Real Estate Group, and today we're going to talk about pest inspections. I highly recommend a pest inspection if you're here on the central coast of California because the termites love our weather. It is the perfect climate for them, perfect amount of moisture and Mediterranean climate. So pest inspections are always a great idea. Now, you can be present for the pest inspection if you'd like, and the inspector can certainly show you around the property and what they're finding, but you will get a detailed report as well. And when you get that report, there are two components to the report. There's what we call Section 1 items and Section 2 items. Now, Section 1 items are pressing, concerning issues that really need to be addressed. If the home needs to be fumigated because there's been evidence of active termite infestation, that's going to be a Section 1 item. Those are examples. There may be dry rot, damaged wood, other items in there that need to be addressed. The Section 2 items are items that are of concern but are not pressing issues. They're more of recommendations. So, for example, a common item found in Section 2 is a loose toilet. Now, that can be a $5 fix. It's just a $5 wax ring at the hardware store, and there's most likely there's no active leaking going on. If there was active leaking, it'd become a Section 1 item. But it's just something of concern because if a toilet is slightly loose on that old wax ring, it could lead to a leak in the future, which could lead to a pest concern later. So here are some tips and tricks for the pest inspection. This goes for a home inspection or any other inspection you may do as well. If you are obtaining financing on your property, unless you have put the pest inspection in as a stipulation of the contract, you should not be discussing the findings of your reports with your lender. This is a conversation you have with me, your realtor, and that we have with the other party during negotiations. The reason you do not need to be bringing this up with your lender is because as a buyer, it can be to your detriment later. Let me give you some examples why. Well, first off, lenders are, depending on the lending institution, some institutions require that if they hear that an inspection is being done, they are obligated to ask for a copy of that report. Once they've got that report, more likely than not, the underwriting department is going to be reviewing that report and quite possibly now making it a requirement or a condition to fund the loan that all of those pest repairs be completed. Now, where this runs into a problem, on the surface, it might sound like a great thing if you're a buyer, right? Great, I want all the pest inspection items repaired. Of course, we all do. But let's say, for example, that there are quite a few repairs. It's pretty costly. And as a buyer, perhaps you're pretty handy and you're willing to address those items after close of escrow. And let's say the seller simply doesn't have the funds to do those repairs as part of escrow. Well, if you've been discussing your concern and letting your lender know that there's a pest report available, then and they get a copy of that report and make it a requirement to close, now you're in a bind. Because if seller is unwilling or unable to do the repairs, and if the buyer was willing to go ahead and close escrow without those repairs done in the first place, but the lender is now requiring that they must be done or they're not funding the loan, where do you go from there? You're either going to have to start all over as a buyer with a brand new lender, and that's going to set escrow back, and that could quite possibly cause a cancellation of the contract. Or it just ends there, and the seller, everyone's at a standstill, and you have to cancel contract. So this is why I say that really you should not be discussing or letting your lender know that you're getting inspections done. That's your right as a buyer to have those inspections done during your inspection contingency period. But that's a dialogue you need to keep between me as your broker, and we negotiate between buyer and seller, and that is off the record with the lender. Okay, thanks so much. Again, it's Missy Harris with Hubble Real Estate Group, your Central Coast real estate resource. Have a great day, everyone.